Hello, my name is Alex Reynolds, and for this project, I interviewed Paul Ingram. Paul is a barber in my hometown of Kings Mountain, North Carolina. Um, I thought the experience, was good. Um, Overall, I thought it was informational. I learned learned way more about the business side of being a barber. Initially, growing up, I really didn't think there's a whole lot to the business side of being a barber. But obviously, it's more than just showing up and cutting heads for $10 a pop. Um, you gotta pay the rent for the space, or if you own it, you have to do that. It was good to learn about that side of it because that's something that I would look to do on the side one day. Another cool part, I interviewed him while I got my hair cut. So that was cool. I got to talk to him while I got a fresh cut. And one thing I was surprised about his passion for cutting hair. Like, I've known he's cutting my hair forever, but we never really talked about inside his life or what's going on. He always talking about me, asking me questions about what's going on in my life, but never really talked to him about that till this interview. So it was good to see that side of him. I never knew that he loved cutting hair that much. I mean, I know he did it for his job. Everything's still a job, but he truly loves it. I talk about in my paper how much he talked about how much he loved it, and he gets to do what he wants to do, what he loves every day for his job. And some other things, like the pros, the pros of being a barber. I learned that you don't have a boss. So I mean, who wouldn't want a job? You didn't have a boss. You're your own boss. You have to work your own hours. Go in whatever you want. For him, he talked about being able to go to his daughter's basketball games and stuff like that during the week. He don't have to tell nobody if he has to take off or worry about if he has to work or not. So, and if he needs to go to work, if he needs to work a little bit overtime, needs to get in there a little more to make some more money, he can. So he works his own hours. Another thing that he talked about, I don't know if he was joking about it or not, but he talked about how you get paid in cash as a barber. He don't have to worry about going to cash a check and stuff like that. And like, I know it may be illegal or whatever, but he talked about like the government doesn't know how much he makes, so he can maybe throw a little fib somewhere in there on his taxes, save him a little money. The cons, I learned that it's hard to find a place to be a barber. You had to find a space that you can rent, and you had to pay that rent back with your profit. So it's hard to make a profit once you get started. It's hard to get started. People, you're new. Everybody I know's got their barber or place they go to all the time. It's hard to like sway people to come. Once you get it's like all of it's word of mouth. Being a barber, you cut one dude's head good, he goes tells his friend, they both come in next time. That it's just word of mouth. So it takes a little while. I imagine for somebody to be able to have a successful like everyday running barbershop business, especially with only one guy in there cutting heads. You got competition. You got to sway people away from the competition. So you got to probably lower your prices. He talked about it first. He lowered his prices lower than other people because of the cheap factor. Everybody looking for the cheapest thing. And another con is you basically depend on others' needs and not your own. You're dependent on somebody else to need a haircut, to pay your bills. So that's something you have to worry about. And the good, it was a little good and bad about my experience. The good was having someone that I'm close to available to me for this project, and learn a little more about the business side. You know, Paul's been cutting my hair for like 7 years, 8 years, ever since I was in high school, 9th grade. You know, I'm lucky that I had him close, because the deadline for this thing really snuck up on me. Because the short February, you know, I didn't take that into consideration. February 28th. So, and I was hard. It was hard finding time. You know, even then, I had 4 or 5 days, you know, to get it done, and you know, I was rushing. I had to miss a class just to get an interview with him. You know, I had to go like 45 minutes to get an interview with him, but it was worth it. So I talked to somebody that I knew, was comfortable talking with, so it was easy for me. That wraps it up. Thank you.